Greetings, my people. Greetings, my people. Greetings, my people. Today is Saturday, November 2nd, 2024. The time is 11:16 a.m. And I just want to come on this real quick. I'm not going to be long before you. Because this really some minute but bogus shit, right? I was just casually just scrolling YouTube. So I saw Kwame Brown he's live right now with Gilbert Arenas. And shout out to Gilbert Arenas for even getting up there live and camming up and coming up with it. And look, before y'all think, I'm not even a Gilbert Arenas fan. I do think Gilbert Arenas is extremely immature. He is a nerve plucker. I do think he's allegedly a part of Clutch Sports that makes narratives about LeBron James. I think everybody on that is goofies except for Rashad McCants, right? And y'all can say what y'all want to say. When I say goofies about who is at least will tell the truth about LeBron James, right? So I'm saying that to say I'm not a Gilbert Arenas supporter, but when you speak truth, truth is truth and feelings is feelings. And Kwame talk all of this shit about being a real man and this, and he's displaying nothing but emotional immaturity right now. He's not letting Gilbert talk. And the thing is, you come on live and talk about a man and his child support situation, right? The internet is fair game, right? Because I'm making content about other people. Most of our content is about somebody else all the time. While we say, we're talking about this. Most people content is talking about something else or somebody else, right? Is that fair to say? But what's crazy is that Kwame has this, he seems like he has this bitterness toward Gilbert Arenas, right? From my opinion. Whose opinion? My opinion. He seemed like he has this bitterness towards Gilbert Arenas. And they were talking about one of Gilbert Arenas, I think possibly Gloria, if I'm wrong, correct me, was talking about how when they broke up, she had to be homeless in the car for 2 days, which prompted Gil to come up and say, yo, which 2 days was this? And he's showing child support records. So once Kwame cornered and made him narrow down, he said, no, I'm not talking about child support records. I know how this child support thing goes. I'm talking about which days. And listening closely, listening is a skill. I teach my 6-year-old, listening is a skill, right? Gilbert said several times, I never left. I gave her the house. I gave her the house, and she left in December. And for whatever reason, Kwame is ignoring all of this. And he's saying it's your character. Your character show that you're a vindictive cat. But wasn't Kwame Brown on 5150 with Corey Holcomb? I mean, if I'm wrong, correct me. And this is why I think it's bitterness and it's personal. Because anybody that sits and talk about vindictive, talk about do something to break a person, if that don't scream Corey Holcomb, I don't know what does. So is it about setting dudes straight with this behavior? Or is it just about his dislike for Gilbert Arenas? I get it that they have this little rivalry going on. And honestly, Gilbert Arenas' content is more popular. The Gil's Arenas, it draws more people because it has more NBA people. And stand alone, Kwame. I ain't got no problem with that. But the thing I have is he does the same thing. It's kind of like a Charleston White thing. He does the same thing while crying and saying other people are doing it to him. He says that they need his name to create content, right? But he constantly speaks about other people. He constantly speaks about other people, and I've seen several content where Gil and other folks never even brought up Kwame. They'll talk about other things, but the thing is that he's not. See, when men talk, you have to talk and fall back and listen. Control freaks control the narrative. They don't want to listen to nobody else talk because they have this narrative that they want to paint. And again, I'm not a Gilbert Arenas fan. I think Gilbert Arenas is extremely childish. The things he said about the who was it? Was it Sudan, South Sudan, and the Olympics? When he called them the Arab, that was extremely distasteful and ignorant, Gil. And he doubled down in such a childish manner. So I see what Kwame Brown is talking about. But at the same time, when you're speaking on another man's personal life and business, you owe it to that man to be quiet and let him talk. You don't determine how he speaks. He's showing that, he said several times, she never left the house. Where is this narrative coming from? And see, these are the things that we are doing that's pointless as black males, right? You know, I said something and it kind of snowballed and took effect with me. I said something with watching this political debate, if we want to call it that. Oh God. And I'd be, you know what, y'all? November 5th can't get here quick enough. Because to watch the mental de-evolution of our people, the mental downfall of our people due to this. Because see, I'm done. It's bigger than Quame and Gilbert, right? But why I want to point this out, because I want to point out what black males spend most of their time doing, right? See, when you speak to me, my opinion, whose opinion? When you speak, you should be speaking to minimize this system, right? Right? Because you're either helping to maintain this system, or you have to speak to you have to use your voice as a black man to speak as a counteractive or counterbalance, if that's a word, to this system. If that makes sense what I'm saying, y'all. And when I look at Donald Trump, right, and listen, I'm not voting for nobody. Both parties are full of shit, if you ask me. And they still going at it. Kwame still just rambling, right? But back to my point. This is what I look at when I'm looking at these MAGA rallies, Klan rallies, same thing, allegedly. I look at the model. Let's go to Albert Bandura. Let's go to Albert Bandura. One more time, Albert Bandura. I got a strain in my shoulder. Let's go to Albert Bandura, right? And he talks about, like, he has a pretty dope interview where he talks about how they swayed the people's minds through soap operas, right? And he was telling the dudes that were interviewing him that you use the model, and I took it a step further and call it role models, right? You use the model, and they said, well, what can you use the model for? He said it depends on your desired manner in so many words. So let's call Trump the model or the role model. And I want to compare it to a black model or role model. Follow what I'm saying? I'm having pain in my shoulder. You follow what I'm saying? In comparison to these models, when I'm looking at the youth and young white boys that's behind Trump, whether we like him or not, because I think this is what this election about. It is WWE. Everything is about how the other party is. Nobody's really talking anything of substance, right? But when we look at the model and these guys are saying, make America great again, there's an unspoken word, or there's an unspoken message that, what's the saying, the old school saying, what's understood don't need to be what? Exactly, explained, right? So in that what's understood don't need to be explained model, they already know what their assignment is. Because their model of the white man or white boy, as I'm going to call him, is saying maintain this system. However you have to. I'm gonna allegedly, he ain't even allegedly, he's gonna give the police immunity to do their jobs. Right? In this unspoken thing, while black males are talking about nonsense. Right? I want y'all to understand, like I said, I'm not gonna be long. While black males are talking about nonsense. Okay, let's say, let's put an age range. 17 to 25-year-old white boys versus 17 to 25-year-old young black males, right? Okay, what model, how is the typical black male model that's around Donald Trump age? I'm 43, that's around my age. Or old enough to influence that age range. What is the message that's being spoken? What is the message that's being spoken to young black boys? When we're listening to Corey Holcomb, what is Corey Holcomb's message? When we're listening to Anton Daniels, the models, what is their messages? A message of maintain America, make America great again. And when we keep saying, when was America great again? This is the funny thing that black people keep asking. When was America great again? It wasn't. That's the kicker. It was never great for us. Yo, what's up, G? I know, man. I got to do a better job of going live, man. I got to do a better job. I appreciate you and the support. And it's the topic that I'm talking about, G, is really bigger than the topic that I'm talking about. The topic that I'm talking about is minuscule to what we are facing, right? So, and thank you for your support anyway. So, back to what I'm saying. The model of the American white boy, the American white male. And we're saying, when was America great? That's why I keep talking to you black MAGAs, you red hatters. You are insane. You just like the Kamala crazies. You are insane. Because we have failed to understand that as black men in this country, it is not for us. And here's the kicker, that black males are so afraid to use their voice for power that they'll tell you to hide. They'll tell you not to say anything. They'll tell you not to just work. I get it. But if we're not saying anything of strength and power, how are we expecting our young black males to be these strong young warriors? Where we thinking it's gonna come from when all we see is the older black males doing what Quame Brown and Gilbert Arenas is doing, right? Most of them think from an American standpoint, and in my opinion, whose opinion? My opinion, a black male that thinks out of an American or Westernized brain, he's done. He's done. Now, if America's all you know, I can receive that. I can receive that. If America's all that you know, I can understand that. I got a homie that say, yo, I don't want to know about that other stuff, bro. America's all I know. And guess what? That's one of my closest friends because he's let me know his stance. So I don't expect him to be something that he's not. This is what we have to learn to do. We have to learn to respect people's boundaries. We have to learn to respect people's stance. The number one thing that puts us against each other in America, especially as black men and people, that we can't respect other people's right to stand on what they want to stand on. If you want to stand on nothingness, guess what? By all means, have at it. But when these white Americans are talking, they ain't bullshitting. They're not bullshitting. You know, Myron Gaines from Fit and Fresh, that bozo, he joined the all-white Twitter space. And those white boys let him know that you ain't welcome around here, saying ninja. Called him a saying nigga. You ain't welcome around here. And this was the kicker that they asked him. They said, now listen to this. The white boy said, this is the hardest part about working with non-whites. See, they are very clear. It is only the delusional black people that think that we're on equal playing field, right? Some of our people are so disgusted by black people that it takes white boys to tell you something. It takes white people, and we are so enamored when a white person knows something that we damn near will suspend all that we know and all that we know to be wrong in this country, because it feels good when white people say things. This is most of why people are voting for Trump. Because they say, I made a lot of money on the Trump. And I don't care about your voting stance. You can vote however you want. My thing is to understand the donkey and the elephant. The fox and the wolf is not, as Nana Malcolm. And we always say Nana means great or wise teacher. To understand that fox and that wolf. Now, which one is Donald Trump? He ain't the fox. That's Camel. Right? So what should be the assignment for black males? I'm not talking about the young ones, because they're waiting on us to show them. We showing them the way. But if we showing them like Anton Daniels, if we showing them like Yada Awakening, if we showing them classism, we showing them westernization. I don't care how black you want to put it. If we're showing them to go against the black woman and the black family, you're teaching them to go against themselves. Flat out. If you're teaching them to just give up on their people, when these people not going to stop coming, you can quit and hate your reflection all you want. But they're not going to stop coming. Because they said America's our country. We don't care about what y'all talking about, y'all reparations. We know what we've done. But white America is the ultimate narcissist, for those people that like to use that word. White America is the ultimate gaslighting. You know, there's a section in the book, Behold the Pale Horse. And he talks about, I think the cat was named Ensign Ball. And when they was on the naval base and they saw aliens. And he said that they went and reported what they saw. And this is how America does you. Talk about the men in black. They reported to what they saw to their superiors. And they called them in the office one by one. And when he called his friend and he came out, he had this blank look on his face, this kind of look of terror. And when they got him in, they kind of coerced him and said, you didn't see what you really think. And I'm paraphrasing. You didn't really see what you think you said. He said, yeah, I did. He said, no, you didn't really see, and what I'm saying is aliens. You didn't really see what you thought you saw, right? Well, they end up making him, no, I didn't see what I think I saw. And that's how white America does you. You can literally read a book like 100 Years of Lynchings, and they can give you historical documents of lynchings. And they can maneuver your mind to make you say you are the biggest threat to yourself in this country. Talk about pimping, since been pimping, since been pimping, since been pimping. Come on, Powder. Morning, rise and shine, G. Good, rise and shine, fam. Appreciate you too. Pimping since been pimping. Come on with the powder. And they smack you, America smacks you constantly with the baby powder. And they make you say, no, you don't want to stand up as a black man, do you? Yeah, I do. No, you don't. Hey, you saw what we did too. Hey, you know we'll throw you in jail. Hey, you know we'll unalive you. You don't want to stand up. Yeah, I do. No, you don't. And they force black males into submission. I would contend that's why they always want to ask a black woman to submit. That's why they always want to ask a black woman to submit, because they psychologically make black people submit all the time. Now, if you got a difference of opinion, that's fine. But I look at what they show me. I look at through how we have been psychologically defeated. When I'm looking on my TikTok, and when I look on in that arena, that shows you the biggest sham and shit show, right? Mentally. And what I mean when I say mentally is we see majority of people. They have, let me show you what's this. Let me show you what I'm saying. They have psychologically swayed you. They have psychologically swayed you to think that it's going to be the black man's fault if Donald Trump wins. Right? And I want you to think about psychologically, what is this going to do to the black family? We're already on shaky grounds now. What is this going to do to black families? What is this going to do? Because they never mind the Puerto Ricans that vote for Trump. Never mind the white women that vote for Trump. Never mind the white boys that vote for Trump. Never mind the black women that vote for Trump. They fixate your mind on black men not voting for Kamala because they have psychologically told you if you don't vote for her, you don't like women. You're a misogynist. And that could be furthest thing from the truth. I don't trust her. It has nothing to do with her gender. I don't trust her inability to answer a question directly. And if you have been listening to this election, you know that she doesn't answer anything directly. And if anybody said they do, they're fat face on lie. You're a damn lie. So they suspend you. Back to that what I gave out about behold the pale horse. They suspend your mind to think outside of anything that is in your own self-interest. And what's funny is I saw a video and it bothered my spirit. It bothered my spirit, man. It bothered my spirit, man, because this was a sister, this was a black female that was a total Kamala crazy. Like I said, you either one of them crazy red hatters, and the black red hatters are shameful. But this was a female Kamala crazy. And this is what I'm starting to notice about the people that keep up this anti-woman, anti-black man, we hate the opposite sex. They have a lack thereof. They kind of like hollow looking. And what I mean is they have this look of almost soulless, right? When they're screaming, when the dudes are screaming, we're going to go overseas. When the dudes are screaming and they're screaming head males and saying that they don't like women, because that's basically where it is. When they're screaming like this, there's a look of emptiness, right? But back to this female. I don't want to go too far. She said something. She said to all you dudes, and the caption was crazy. The caption said, black men ask for this or deserve this. She said, if you are, y'all don't want to vote for Kamala, and I don't care what happens to y'all. I don't care if y'all are shot in the neck by a white boy, or I don't care if y'all are found hanging from trees. Ooh. And it didn't still a chill up my body. It sent a sadness. Because we can be so defeated. You can trick your mind and say you winning all you want. But I look at reality. We are in triple overtime and we down 30 points. And we're arguing about 50-50. We're arguing about child support. We're arguing about I'm a high value man. We're arguing about pointless shit. It's pointless. And meanwhile, your ops, your adversaries, however you want to name them, they know what time it is. And they don't know what time it is because they're so much more smarter than you. They know what time it is because the Tavistock Institute and the opinion making and the swaying of your mind works different when it's aimed at us. This is why we had Meg Thee Stallion popping ass on stage. This is why they bring Eminem out in Detroit and they bring that old dusty Barack Obama to recite Lose Yourself lyrics. Because this is a sass and swag stuff for us. This is how they know how to appeal to your mind. My palms were sweaty. My knees weak. My arms were heavy. Mom's spaghetti. And they like, total mind fuck. Because we know that they're easily swayed. Nobody, what kills me is nobody understood that on Joe Biden's personal YouTube page, he sat down with a black father and his black sons, and they fed them fried chicken. Fried chicken. Right? And you know what? This topic should have really been something else because, like I said, I'm done with Kwame Brown and Gilbert Arenas. Salute to independent thinkers. Why is there such a problem for you to think for yourself? Know why? Because you might influence the others. Back to what I was talking about in the beginning of this. Albert Bandura and his model. You don't know who Albert Bandura is? I suggest you look him up. Because everything is not so black and white of what we think. We say, oh, all black folks want to do. And when you talk like that, I know where your mind is. I know you are in the Skinner box. I know you are the proverbial Pavlovian dog that's just answering the bell. When you say black folks, this is why I can't stand Charleston White. Because Charleston White is nothing but a chocolate-covered white boy. White supremacist. Because for him to rage on his people and says, I prayed to not hate my people. I think it's okay to have a hateful heart. Back to what I said. When those white boys, back to what I said in the beginning of this now, and I said I wasn't going to go this long, but it's flowing. Back to what I said in the beginning of this. When I'm looking at those MAGA Klan rallies, and I'm looking at the white boys from 17 to 25, and I'm looking at them look at Donald Trump in admiration. He's giving them the blueprint to the future of keeping your foot on the necks of everybody that's not white. And juxtaposition to black boys between ages of 17 to 25, we got Charleston White talking to us. We got Corey Holcomb talking to us. Right. To bring it back to the topic, G, he's a hypocrite. And like I said, this is what made me start it because it's still on. He's still him and he and Gilbert Arenas. And I'm not a Gilbert Arenas fan. Gilbert Arenas is a goofy to me. Because that's the type of black man that you have to be to be really pushed, you have to be a goofy. You have to be a dope dealer. You have to push drill music. You have to be homosexual. You know why? Because that makes you non-threatening. And guess what? I ain't talking about nothing violent. I'm talking about using your mind. Let me ask y'all a question. What is the biggest threat to white America? A black man with a gun or a black man with a book? What is the biggest threat to white America? A black man with a gun or a black man with a book? A black man that's told who is enemy or a black man that reads and understands? Wait, people that got my skin color, all of them not my enemy. I've been had. I've been tricked. I've been manipulated. Now we do have AOCs, right? We do have agents of chaos. Let's not get it twisted. Because some of them have been turned to such agents that they're not us. But that's where discernment comes from. They are more afraid of a black man and a black woman and black children that know and read and understand. And like that person just said, thank you, independent thinker. An independent thinker. Who is this and why are they not allowing me to control the way they think? Monitor them before they get others to start to think for themselves. We tell you what to think. You don't think that. Back to Behold the Pale Horse. You don't think that. You think what I tell you to think. Yeah, you think homosexuality is the way. And let me tell y'all something else. Let me say something else. Leave Nick Bosa alone. Ooh, he got to be a sellout if he said leave Nick Bosa alone. Here's why to leave Nick Bosa alone. You got the right to wear whatever you want on your head, because I guarantee you if he would have wore a vote for Kamala hat, the narrative would have been different. Because that media has the ability to make you think anything. I don't understand what the problem is. So if you're going to carry this and you're going to be so upset with Nick Bosa, shouldn't you be mad at Bill Belichick? Shouldn't you be mad at Robert Kraft? Shouldn't you be mad at the GOAT, Tom Brady? Aren't they friends with Donald Trump? I was looking at a movie last night. I'm trying to think what movie it was. I was looking at some movie. It was a Halloween movie they were playing. It was either Silver Bullet or I can't think what it was. But anyway, the building that they had said Trump Hall or something like that. I was like, damn, the name Trump been ringing a bell since the 80s and 90s. Nobody had a problem with it then. So you mean to tell me Donald Trump only became these obnoxious American things when he began to run for president? See, that is the problem. We don't want to know a rattlesnake when we see one. We want to say, oh, I want to know a rattlesnake. Because I have a better position and understanding of where they at and how to maneuver myself not to get bit. So Nick Bosa wearing a hat did not bother me. Just like Ryan Clark dressing up in quote unquote whiteface, whatever that is, didn't bother me. Because TikTok actually has a little Sambo blackface app feature. And I put it on my page, and there was an Asian man and his children doing these blackface things. So if we have to look at these images, why are y'all upset about Ryan Clark wearing that? Fair game. We've been told how to feel for so long as black people in this country that we have adjusted to it. You can't tell me how to feel. You can't marginalize my feelings. You can't tell me, oh, just feel like this. Well, what about what white people do it? What about when they do it? What about when black people do it? What about it? This is why I get agitated when we begin to talk about sexual predators, whether it's a Diddy, whether it's a Jared Fogle from Subway, don't forget that little prick, whether it's a R. Kelly. But the reason I remain so focused in on a person like R. Kelly, not because I want to focus in on the black guy and make the black guy look worse than everybody else, because everybody else is doing it. The reason I focus in on that is because how black people get behind him and champion him as if somehow how he's some type of victim. So you say Gil is fronting for the camera. He could be, but my thing, Brian, okay, my thing be he could be, dog. But my thing was Kwame was being so emotional, he wasn't letting him speak. So my thing is, and I also asked the question, Brian. I said, okay, he's saying he knows Gilbert's character, right? Gilbert is this type of guy that will use his money to break women, right? And I said, and answer me, correct me if I'm wrong, B, because I can be corrected. If I'm wrong, I don't want to put wrong information out. But wasn't Kwame Brown on 5150 with Corey Holcomb? So if you're gonna see the character of fraudulent black men or men that use their money, Corey Holcomb admitted on Cam Newton's podcast that he dates a lower level women that he can control and manipulate with his money. So why is upset? And I think Gilbert Arenas, right? But exactly, I got a screenshot. Exactly, Jay. I got a screenshot because I said, Kwame, you acting gay now, bro. I said, yo, this is more because I was listening. I'm an unbiased person. Appreciate that, Jay. Damn, you brought up. Damn, appreciate you, Jay, because you brought up what I screenshotted because I said I don't want nobody to think I'm capping. But he was limiting conversations that was saying, yo, keep it down the middle, Kwame. Keep it down the middle, bro. I'm not a fan of neither one of y'all. But keep it down the middle. You're painting this narrative. You're not letting Gilbert speak. You're speaking on Gilbert's business himself. Gilbert said several times, I left the house. I left her the house. He's like, no, nobody cares about what you're saying on the internet. You getting the article or the thing you brought was something that was said on the internet. So you can't use the narrative the way you want to. And then when the man is speaking and you saying, I know you said you want to be an international pimp. Nobody's more childish than Corey Holcomb. So my thing is, if we're going to be fair as truthers, be fair. I think Gilbert Arenas is one of the biggest goofies there is. I think that he's allegedly, I think everybody on that Gilbert Arenas is paid by Clutch Sports to say these crazy things about LeBron James. Yeah. Look, you say he just married Melly. Melly is fine, man. And I'm like, is she attracted to the goofy? I don't know, but he got him a nice one. I'm not gonna let me say this, y'all. I might hate the person, but I would never be a hater. I might not like that person, but I will never hate on another person. I would never hate on another man. When he's right, I'm gonna say, yo, he's right. Me personally, I feel like a hater gonna hate whatever you do. They ain't even gonna care. They just gonna hate it because you saying it. They don't care. Hold on, they put a thing up. I can't see. Hold on, I'm about to read your comment. Okay, my bro Fitzgerald said that's the outer onion. This convo been going on for a while. It's been going on for a long, man. You talking about the Gil and Kwame? B? You talking about the Gil and Kwame conversation? Yeah, it's been going on. And it's like, well, when is it going to be the end point? Okay, appreciate it, B. Yeah, man, it's been going, because I remember when it first started, and I've been neutral from the start because some things I like that Kwame says. Some things I like that Gil says. Some things I can't stand that Kwame says. Some things I can't. So I'm always neutral in a position. And I never been on child support. My son, mom, and I, we are still great co-parents to this day. So I can't speak on that. I normalize not talking about something I don't know. I can give my opinion of what I think. So that child support thing can get muddy. But I do appreciate Gil coming in to sit down and speak and saying, yo, man, don't, allow me to speak with you about speaking on my business. He said you go to a Diddy party. Well, hold on. Wait. Hold on now. Hold on, Corey. Let me clarify, G. Oh, when I say some basketball things, see? No, dog. Some basketball things, Court. No, dog. Some basketball things he says, I say it like that. You know what I'm saying? I say it like that, my G. Because let me tell you something. Let me give you something. I'm gonna give you something that when I say he's super immature and a goofy, the shit he said about South Sudan, right? If anybody remembers his comments that he said about South Sudan when they almost, and shout out to Luau Deng, when they almost beat Team USA, they're gonna be a problem. And he got up there and said all these ridiculous narratives and stereotypes about Africans. I ain't rock with that. So he's a goofy, right? But a broken clock can be right twice a day. So some basketball opinions, Corey, he said you'll go to a Diddy party. Oh, that's the same comment. He said you'll go to a Diddy party if you like anything Gil said. No Diddy, Corey. No Diddy parties, dog. But no, back on the serious note, man. That's why, let me tell you some things I don't like. This is why I don't enjoy basketball anymore. Because it has turned like to a cult, right? And LeBron James has his Clutch Sports minions. And what I don't like, the fact that you can't give a basketball opinion anymore. Something I like that Kwame said yesterday, I saw it coming across my TikTok, where he was talking about like, just because you say something against LeBron, it don't mean you're a hater. And the first thing somebody said in the comment, oh, you just mad because you're a bust. How do you know that? Yeah, now that right there, what was this? Brian? Yeah, now that right there, and you can always tell when Gil is lying, when Kwame put him on the spot, he's lying because you can just tell his energy. And I respect Kwame. Now, this is why I do respect him. Because at that young age, we can always say what we would have put up with and what we would have done. But at that young age, man, he had the pressures of the world on him. And I do think playing with Jordan hurt his career. I think that stopped his development. Now tell me if y'all agree or disagree. I think playing with that, and I think it took a mental toll on him. I don't think Kwame sucked. I don't think he was a bust. I think just a lot of the things he wasn't, how I want to say, he wasn't given the proper time to develop. And that's something that's wrong with the game now today. They don't give these players proper time to develop. It was so much on his shoulders as being that number one pick that I'm not gonna say he wasn't ready, but to the thing of what I'm saying, he didn't get a chance to develop into that. Yeah. I was reading the comments. I think the veterans, to answer that one, I think the veterans didn't understand how to embrace him, right? I agree. I think they didn't understand how to embrace him. Had they embraced him better, which is one of my gripes with Shaq, right? One of my gripes with Shaq is this is why the big man position sucks now. This is why we have players like Joel Embiid, because one thing, whether you listen, I'm gonna say this: Kobe is the GOAT to me. Just to me now, Kobe is the GOAT to me because the things I witnessed Kobe do, I saw Jordan. I'm an 80s, 90s baby. But Kobe is that GOAT to me, whether nobody agrees or not, right? But the way he was willing to work with a Kyrie Irving, the way he was willing to work with a Jason Tatum, the way he was willing to work with Kawhi Leonard, whoever. I think back to the brother's point that was talking about the veterans failing in Oakley. That's the component that was missing. I'm reading the comments again. Oh, not old veteran. Well, who was like? And I'm asking the real question: who was like the veterans for Kwame at the time? Who did he play with? Was Eton Thomas considered a veteran? Now, what are you talking about, Abdul? Now, how you know that? Now, see, you, Abdul, come on, G. Now, you came in and made just a blanket assumption for no reason, dog. I done talked about so much else on this right here. And you come talking about victim blamehood. Man, you out this Rangtang game for that. I'm going to read other comments. I do think if they have podcasts together, it would be funny because it's kind of like this frenemy thing. It's kind of like a love-hate relationship, right? Okay, MJ. Do I think it would? I think it got a tendency. I think it could, depending on what they're talking about. I think it could get physical if they had a podcast. I really do. It possibly could. LeBron James cult members, and that's what I don't like because. And let's spend time on that one. The cult mentality. I think that alone has destroyed the game, right? Because 80s and 90s, yeah, look, they can come up with this narrative to say we done with the 90s all we want. But you gotta understand the 90s to be done with something. That's like me saying we done with the 70s. And I experienced nothing in the 70s. And that's what I'm saying. Also to this, because see, guess what? I don't have to preach this and that constantly. Mix it up, mix martial arts. Much like everything else, we don't respect our ones before us, right? LeBron James cult members, okay, the thing with Bronny simply just can't play basketball. It has nothing to do with, Bronny is young enough to be my son. I respect that young man. I think that young man is a great young man, but he simply just can't play basketball. And when I hear the way his cult members, and this is what I don't like when I'm listening at Gil's Arenas and they're having the conversation. And it's almost to that brother's point about the cult members, that you can't have an opinion that doesn't coincide with propping them up and saying they're the best, right? Because it's like, if that was Cayenne Anthony, who could play basketball, hell, Gilbert Arenas' son can play basketball offensively. I don't know what that young man can do defensively. But if that was Cayenne Anthony, if he was playing in that manner, he wouldn't be getting coddled like this. So the fact that they'll bring up this point, and I know y'all have heard it, that they'll say, he's the 55th pick. And then they'll bring up Alex Sarr, and they'll bring up, what's my guy's name in the Hawks? Ricochet. They'll bring up Ricochet and say, well, they're not playing good, but nobody's talking about them. You know why nobody's talking about them? Because they're not getting talked about. Bronny scores 2 points and they act like it was 32. To see him score that struggle 2 points in Cleveland, and Cleveland erupts. And then they have a press conference to talk about it. What are we talking about with 2 points? Like somebody just said, you can't teach the feel for the game. You can't teach feel of the game. That is a factual comment, right? You can't teach respect. You can't teach love of the game. I'm gonna pin that, Brian, talking about Ant-Man. We're gonna talk about that one, dog. Don't let me forget that one. I'm reading the comments. No, I don't, bro. You said, do I support a man? From what he, because look, dog, only thing we got is what she's saying versus what he's saying. He said, at what time did she live on the street? Because he let her have the house. So neither one of us know. And what I was saying, that Kwame, he wasn't letting Gilbert was explaining. He's like, no, we ain't talking about that explanation. We talking about this. And it's like, it's going sideways. It's like, let the man talk. When two men talk, you speak, I don't say anything. When I speak, you don't say anything, whether we agree or not, because the goal is not to sit up here and agree. Just like when that guy just came in and said, buy my RBG flag, I don't have to go back and forth. That's his opinion. People can have their opinions of something. Everybody don't like stuff. I don't like a lot of stuff. And no, I don't support nobody living on the street. Look, dog, I don't even have homeboys that don't take care of their children. If you don't take care of your children, I don't rock with you. You can't, nothing you say can be real. But I've seen Gilbert practicing with his son. I've seen him really practice with his son, Elijah Arenas. So I'm not, because I do think Gilbert is a goofy, I'm not just going to speak down on him, because I don't, that's a hater. Christian Laettner. Damn, he did play with Christian Laettner. I forgot about that squad. Popeye Jones. I remember Popeye Jones. Hell yeah. Corey, man. If we think they would treat Cayenne Anthony the way they were treating Bronny is a Make-A-Wish kid, right? And only because who his daddy is that he's getting all of this admiration, all of this respect. If he was just LeBron Jackson from Cleveland, nobody would care. The people that saying all of this stuff wouldn't even be speaking. It is a thing. It's kind of like Deion Sanders, right? You can't criticize Shedeur or Travis Hunter, not because you're talking about them, but the affinity that the cult has for the head figure. They feel like when you talk about Bronny, you're talking about LeBron. Bronny can't play. I watched Sierra Canyon games. I watched when he was in the McDonald's All-American. I watched him score them 15 points. He always looks, anybody that watch basketball, they know, tell me if I'm lying, say you lying. He always looks confused on the court. Does he not? He always looks like what those scouting reports said. He never looks like he knows what's going on in the game. And that's just simply because he's not ready. You name me one player, and if you can, this is an open discussion, that was able to come out and get pushed and get that type of press, scoring 4.8 points in college. We don't, Cam Newton asked the question when it came to Shedeur. And I like Shedeur, but I haven't seen Shedeur do anything of significance. Okay. I received that game. Okay. But I'm gonna get to the comments. When Cam said, what signature game has Shedeur had that he can hang his hat on? Everybody got upset with Cam and said, "Oh, Cam is hating." They began to act like mean girls when Cam came up there to Colorado, and they began to treat him like that because you came back to that person that said you can't teach the feel of the game. Not only can you not teach the feel of the game in today's sports, period, you can't give constructive criticism or critiquing because we don't like the word criticism. So when we're saying what game has Shedeur had and what opponent has he really beat? He ain't beat a Georgia. He ain't beat a Bama. So when we asking it the same thing, what game has Bronny had that we say, oh, Bronny can play? When I watch Cayenne Anthony, I've seen Cayenne Anthony grow. When I seen Cayenne Anthony on Angel Reese's podcast, Cayenne talks about the game in a way that I've never heard Bronny talk about it. But let me catch up and read the comments. Stop talking for a minute. Yeah, entertainment. Okay. Why do I think the ratings for the NBA are going down? Man, I'm gonna tell you, JR. I'm gonna tell you. Why am I rocking with who? Astro. Oh, why am I rocking with if he on the shows? I'm not rocking with him, but what I'm saying is, bro, that's like you rocking. If I don't like something you say, I'm not gonna pile up on you. I don't have enough overwhelming evidence to see that he's a terrible father, right? We know, okay, let me and tell me if I answered your question. We know that Boosie is not a good father. Now, why can I say that? Because several of Boosie's children have been in tears almost of his treatment. I didn't say he ain't a good provider now. So I see Gilbert being a childish jackass, but I've never saw him mistreat his children. So I don't know enough. So I'm not gonna speak about what I don't know enough. I will speak about him being a childish jackass. I will speak about I don't like what he said about South Sudan. I don't like a lot of the narrative that he puts around Michael Jordan. That stuff like that stuff I'm comfortable and I see. If that makes sense. Bronny is manufacturing history. Work on getting a bigger screen that way you won't hurt. Man, what you talking about? Because I damn sure need glasses. You said I won't work. Oh, yeah, man, because I damn sure need glasses. I'm going to go back to the other brother. Okay. He's very manipulative. I can see that. Because, like I said, he manipulates the narrative of basketball. Right? But we're going off of what the mother said versus what he's saying. So my thing to settle the score is bring the mother in the middle and let both of them speak. Because it's both of what we think this side is saying versus what we saying that side is saying. And then once the mother comes in the middle and he can say, what day did you sleep in the car? That's the question he kept asking. He said, what 2 days did she sleep in the car because I gave her a house? It's up to her to say, you lying. Then we know, yeah, man, you full of shit. But when it's like that, the waters is muddy. And I'm only speaking to, like I said, Kwame wasn't letting them talk. But I want to go back to the brother that asked the question up here. He says, my boy JR Talk Show. Shout out, man. He says, why do you think the ratings for the NBA are going down? JR, because they will not let go of LeBron James. He is the old family dog that nobody wants to know he can't bark no more. And it's just like they're still coddling to him. It's over with. My thing is, somebody else made a comment about my Ant-Man. My thing is, let it go. We got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We have Ja Morant, who I think is that dude, in my opinion. I think Ja Morant has the best shaking ball. Now, I'm not going to disrespect Shai. Shai is that dude. But I think Ja Morant is a different monster. If he stay healthy and keep his mind straight, Ja Morant is better than majority of the up and coming. I think it's going to be a two-way tie in the next couple of years between him and Shai Alexander. And I think Ant-Man, because somebody said Ant-Man have to continue to develop. I absolutely agree. I think the reason it's going down because we just tired of the feel-good story. We're tired of this Make-A-Wish story. We're tired of LeBron capping. LeBron lies. God damn, they can lie. And I think that's why, because it's losing interest, it's losing the competitive nature, JR. It's losing the rivalry. Do you remember the Sacramento Kings and LA Lakers rivalry? Does anybody remember when they couldn't even get through preseason without a fight breaking out? It was okay to have a rivalry. I can't remember it, and if y'all can, put it in the chat. I can't remember a time, y'all, when we was in the 80s and 90s and it was just Kobe or it was just Tracy McGrady and the media surrounded. This is how I know they're propagandizing. They're using propaganda because they'll say something simple, and I'm still answering my bro JR's question. Example, I don't know if it was Shaq, but I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Shaq leaves LeBron out of his top 10. And that becomes a narrative, and that becomes a problem. They didn't put LeBron in their top 5. You don't have to. And I got a close brother of mine, and I tell him all the time, if I was an NBA general or owner, I would not pick LeBron James because he's going to ruin my goddamn team. Because he's a diva. You have to give him his way. He's always, you know what? If we move the NBA logo from Jerry West, and let's say the iconic images, following what I'm saying, y'all, the iconic images, right? If the iconic image of Jordan is this with the ball, and it's Kobe in the fadeaway, I think this should be LeBron's. Because he always got his hands up pleading for something. Or this. This should be, if the logo is put for LeBron, it should be praying. Because he's always praying for somebody to give him something. And I don't respect that. It's either this or this. No, that means he got to lay on his back with his legs in the air. So. Yo, Brian, you crazy, man. That means he got to lay on his back with his legs in the air, B, because he always flopping all, and that hurts the game. To answer my bro JR question, that's why. No, Diddy. Is that a pause situation? Pause. That's a definite pause. Hey, that's a big pause right there, dog. But I think to answer my guy question, that's why. I think, okay, this is what I think should be up for retirement. LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard. It's time for Kawhi. Russell Westbrook. I think KD is on borrowed time. Maybe 2 years, 3 years. Or, because me and my best friends, we talk about this all the time. KD got to understand he ain't that dude no more. Go back to being a good role player. If KD would accept being a role player, he would win another championship. I think Klay Thompson's position is going to revitalize his career. I think Steph has another 3 to 4. But the league is for these young G's now. And I think if the league gives this game to the young G's and let them play, and we can allow rivalries to come back, and we can allow competition, and everything is not so manufactured. Stuart Scott didn't do this. Rest up to the homie Stuart Scott. Stuart Scott didn't do this. Stuart Scott didn't do what Stephen A. Smith does. Michael Wilbon didn't do this. Tony Kornheiser didn't do this. Let me see. Kwame wanted to catch Gil line. If I was Gil. Wemby. What you mean, Brian? What you mean? Wemby is next up? Okay, answer me this. Less politics. What you mean? What you mean, Wemby B? Like the next up with the young guys? Because I do, and I think, and I'm so interested to see this San Antonio season, right? Because I think Chris Paul don't get enough credit. I don't think Chris Paul get enough credit, Brian, because Chris Paul, he hasn't won anything. Now we said this makes sense. And if it don't make sense, I know y'all gonna tell me, because that's what the internet do. Chris Paul is a winner that hasn't won. And what I mean is he can get you a winning season. He can get you, think about it, y'all. He did awesome when he was with OKC. He took Phoenix to the finals, but they just had to contend with that. I think if he was healthy, Phoenix would have won. I think if DeAndre Ayton would have balled out, Phoenix would have won. I think Phoenix was better, but Antetokounmpo ain't to be played with. But I think Chris Paul playing with Wemby is going to bring out something in Wemby that, ooh. Okay, come on. Okay. Okay, my G said, he said, nah, King, the young boys got to take it from the old heads. They got to listen to the old heads. This is the problem. They got to listen to the OGs, but the OGs got to be available, which is I say, that's why I think Kobe was such a jewel to miss, and he's so missed by the game, because not only would the Lakers not be a shit show like this if Kobe was still there, but the heart and the grit of the game would still. Nobody has that. I think Ant-Man shows flashes, but Ant-Man got to learn to play some damn defense without getting tired. I think the love of the two-way game, because it's like James Harden let Chris Paul down. James Harden had one job when Chris Paul got hurt. One job. This is why I'm not a James Harden fan. He had one job, y'all, and he couldn't get it done. So Chris Paul is a winner that just hasn't won. Does that make sense? What my boy say? CP can unlock Wemby for sure. If he can stay healthy. Okay, I agree with that, B. If he can unlock them. Now, realistically, B, how far can they go if he do that? If Chris Paul unlocks Wemby, how far can that Spurs team go realistically? And not only how far can they go, but who's the best team in the West? I think we got to look at, I think it's OKC. think so, Trey? I don't think so, dog. I don't think so. And here's why. Because he had a respect, and you're right now, they're a shit show because the ownership have just laid down. I don't know if Jeannie Buss done literally laid down, but it kind of seemed like it. But I think, to your point, T, they have just laid down and allowed LeBron to take over. I think if Kobe is there, Trey, the relationship that he has with the ownership would have a lot more respect. He would have a lot more say-so. Nobody has more say-so than LeBron, and I think that's the problem. And again, to the thing of what we're talking about, Boogie Cousins, who if he wouldn't have got hurt, Boogie Cousins would have been a problem. Boogie Cousins said something that was so smart and profound. He said, and it wasn't even profound, it was just smart, and it was just an observation. He said, they not committed to winning, meaning the Lakers, by them going out and doing what they do. Everybody kind of got better, and the Lakers got worse. They got Bronny. And they got JJ Redick, who I'm not gonna say he can't coach, although I want to say that, but he hasn't shown he could coach. Again, this is kind of like nepotism. Again, there's that word that nobody wanted to listen to. They wanted to bring up Giannis Antetokounmpo, but Giannis is not the centerpiece. This is the thing when they're making these comparisons. They're saying, y'all not saying that about Antetokounmpo and his brother. Giannis is not getting all of this press. Giannis is not giving. Bronny is the 55th pick being treated like he's the first pick. This is why. Okay, see. Oh, Dallas, what am I talking about? Dallas, what am I talking about? Dallas is the best team in the West. Thank you for that. OKC not beating them. I agree, man. I agree because of the addition. Had they not added Clay, I would debate you. Had they not added Klay Thompson, because this is the thing that people don't understand. They don't need Klay Thompson to be exactly who he was in Golden State, right? They just need him to be ready. They just need him to catch and shoot, because it's going to be a pick your poison. Minnesota hasn't proven that they could beat them. They cannot beat them. Klay is that difference maker. And you know why? You know why, dog, that I'm rooting for Klay? Simply because the way Golden State disrespected him. They already disrespected him in the top 75. How is some of those players that was in the top 75 there over Klay? That makes sense. Because like somebody else said, the politics of the game. Back to my guy question, why is the NBA losing ratings? Because of the politics. Because it's not about basketball anymore. It's about feel-good stories. It's about a little make-a-wish kid from Akron, Ohio, or the son of somebody from Akron, Ohio, that's being made the story, and we're not highlighting the real ballers of the league. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is not getting his due. Ant-Man is not getting his due. Ja Morant is not getting his due. Ja Morant gonna be a problem. Memphis is close second. Memphis is close second, D. I like what you said about Klay, but Memphis is second. Zach Edey is a problem. Zach Edey is a problem, right? So when we're looking at this, I think if they just got the hell out the way, I don't want to see the play-in tournament no more. I wish they would really get rid of the play-in, because I think the play-in was made strictly for LeBron, my opinion, because it's going to be always a way to get him in the politics goes and says, that this is what bothers me, y'all. That no matter how shitty LeBron and shitty the Lakers season was before, the next season, he's going to be the top one. They're going to say, oh, this is a different LeBron. I remember they would say all these fucking dumb narratives. Dwayne Wade said he's the different beast when he's number 6. No, he's not. He's the same dude, just with a different number on his chest. Man, hold on, T, you're right. You said because you forget the NBA is a business. Bronny put asses in the seat. This ain't high school ball. It's always been about money. It's professional sports, period. And that's why it's the problem, dog. Yes, facts. And that's why it's the problem. Because Bronny puts asses in the seat. But what are those asses witnessing when they sitting in the seats? A Make-A-Wish kid that he makes a layup, and if they start to let him score, I'm going to be done, man. I'm going to be done, dog. Because this ain't no give me. What's up, G? How you doing, man? Turtle Man in the building. Ain't seen you in a while, dog. Man, just chopping it up with some good old people, man. We talking about a whole lot of stuff, man. We done talked about a lot of things. But now we just chopping it up about NBA talk right now. Because you can do that. And that's what I'm saying. We don't have to be so gassed up and be so serious about things 24/7 because politics is in everything, right? So to talk about the NBA is to talk about racism. Talking about sports is to talk about all these things encompassed. But at the same time, we still enjoy the game. I still enjoy a good game of basketball. Just like I enjoy the WNBA. Okay, speaking on prejudiceness and racism, I don't like the narrative, how they put around Angel Reese, right? We ain't going to go to talking about how she dressed. We're going to talk about the game. Again, propaganda. Now, I said something on my TikTok. Professor X or Cerebral Assassin 221 on my TikTok. And I said something a while back, right? I said, I don't know. I said LeBron James and Caitlyn Clark have the same type fan base, right? Because there's this delusion around. I said media made greatness. Now, I didn't say LeBron isn't a great player. I didn't say he's a good player, but the media makes him just that much better. How do they do it? And then I'm gonna get to Angel Reese and this. This is what I witnessed. Okay, let's look at when they do these rankings, right? Especially look at social media when every average day people like us do these ratings. This is something I noticed that they was doing to push LeBron to the top of the mountain and try to make him something that he's not. They would put him here, and then the list would start with everybody else. And they would always make sure Kobe down at the bottom. I already told you, Kobe the GOAT to me now because of the way he approached the game. So they would be like MJ, and then in parentheses, they'll say with Pippen. So they want to minimize and say Jordan couldn't win without Pippen. Well, LeBron couldn't win without Dwayne Wade. The fact that they play Chris Bosh the way that they play him is ridiculous. I know they don't know basketball. Chris Bosh was the most consistent player on that Miami Heat team. He was the Klay Thompson. I would compare Klay Thompson's contribution to the Golden State Warriors the equivalent of Chris Bosh's to the Miami Heat. But they play Chris Bosh like he was just some Rudy Poo, like he was Christian Laettner or something. And I ain't saying Christian Laettner was a Rudy Poo, but he wasn't that guy that was going to put you over. And so the propaganda, they do the same thing with Caitlyn Clark, right? What part? What part, T? What'd you say huh for? What'd you say huh for? What, with the Chris Bosh? Before we go to that, what you mean, dog? When you say huh, what you mean? With the Chris Bosh? Yeah. Do they help him score? No. Okay, to answer your question flat out, no. But they hyped it up in a way. Okay, now let me ask you this, T. If the goal is the 40K, right? That's what make him the GOAT. Why the heck was Kareem not never put at the top of that mountain like that? Because he had to pass Kareem, right? Right? He had to pass him. So the way the media made it, because they overflood your mind with everything. There's a stat for a stat for a stat. Everything LeBron does. This is the 31st time he scored 20 points on a Monday night. This is the 22nd time he scored 16 points going to the left. The little nuances of the media that oversaturate the people's brain and make them think that all these stats is what make you great. When, you know what I look at, T? This is what I look at, bro. I look at a LeBron James when they played the Golden State Warriors. And you remember when everybody left J.R. Smith on that island and said J.R. Smith was the failure of them losing. T, they only went to overtime. Now go back, my G, and look at LeBron's demeanor on that sideline. He's pouting. Everybody's coddling him. The media ain't gonna show that. The media made greatness is they're gonna highlight everything he does right. When Russell Westbrook was on that team, they made the whole thing, because he always needs a scapegoat, right? That's what he should be called, the scapegoat. He should be called the scapegoat. But he always needs a scapegoat, T. And Russell Westbrook was made the biggest problem on that team. Russell Westbrook had 6 turnovers. Shannon Sharp would get up there and they would grill him. They would Skip Bayless would disrespect him all the time. Now, if we would look at that same stat sheet, LeBron James probably would have 6 turnovers too, or he would have 5 turnovers. So what's the difference with Russell Westbrook turnovers versus that? Turnovers are turnovers. Okay, I got to read the comments. Yeah, man. Thank you, G. Well, how am I wilding, T? Let me read, man. You bugging, dog. Okay, you never said he was a GOAT. Okay, good shit. Appreciate you. Man, stop, T. That sounds like Skip Bayless. I don't. You know I don't. You know I don't, T. You know I don't. He said I sound. You know what, though, T? That ain't the first time. Like, whenever I would say that, they'll say you sound like Skip Bayless. Why? How I sound like Skip Bayless? Because he is the scapegoat. Okay. Now I'm gonna further drive down the street, dog. Okay, you said I sound like Skip Bayless. Okay, Russell Westbrook was the scapegoat. Who was the scapegoat last year? Darvin Ham. They disrespect Darvin Ham. It was Darvin Ham. Didn't Darvin Ham take them to the Western Conference Finals, if I'm not mistaken? How does Darvin Ham not know how to coach? He won't let Darvin Ham coach. But you're going to let J.J. Redick coach. I seen for the first time something Frank Vogel never did. I saw J.J. Redick yell, shoot the fucking ball to LeBron James. I have never seen anybody yell at LeBron James. But how was, okay, good point, T. You said they got rid of Russ and went to the finals. Let me ask you this, dog. Who idea was it to bring Russ on that team? Because you know they say he got this You know, he's this basketball savant. He sees things before he get out of bed, and media made greatness, right? His IQ and detail to the game can't touch Kobe Bryant. The basketball genius Kobe Bryant was what they try to make LeBron. Kobe would actually be talking Slovenian to players. He would be talking Italian to players. He understood the game on a whole nother level. The media makes LeBron this. I'm not saying he's not a good player now, T. He's good, but let me say this. You're going to blow your top when I say this, though, T. He's not in my top. He's in my top 10, but he'll inch in around maybe about 6th or 7th, right? Yes. Oh, you said Kobe had Phil Jackson and Shaq. Half of them. Okay, what you mean by that one? Now, I'm not going to speak on that one. I'm going to let you speak. What you mean when you say they had them, dog? MJ, Will, Kareem. Please justify. You know, okay. You say MJ, Will, Kareem. I want you to justify why. Okay, this your 5. This your 5, dog, Brian. I ain't gonna mess with your 5. But you said you can justify it. Justify why Wilt is over Kareem. He said, my dog T said he had Phil Jackson and Shaq. I don't like that though, dog. I don't like it because Shaq had Kobe too. And okay, let me ask you this, T. Why, Brian? Please justify why Wilt over Kareem. Now that I got other stuff I want because I want to question you about Bill Russell too, but I want my dog T to tell me. Could LeBron have played with Phil Jackson? Because now, okay, let me read this comment. James coach and first 3. Okay, look though, T. You're right. But it really was Kobe also, right? No, he couldn't, T. And if you want me to explain why, I would, dog. But no, he couldn't because I don't think he could take coaching. Because you know what? Just like he go anywhere, how come he never went to go play for a Greg Popovich? That's why he didn't want to play for Pat Riley. Remember, he didn't want to play for Pat Riley. That's why they didn't really like being around that Miami Heat because it's too much structure. And well, he had to find the right coach though, T. Because okay, also that you gotta say, okay, so you got a point. So what you saying, T? He only was as good as Phil Jackson and only could win with Phil Jackson. Is that what you telling me, dog? No, I got what you're saying. Turtle Man says. Oh no, Turtle Man. Yes, I was, dog. Okay, now I'm stop what, T? What you... No, man, y'all gotta talk to me, man. What you mean, bro? Okay, let me answer this whole thing that y'all saying. Because I think it's sideways when y'all say he had Shaq. Penny Hardaway had him too. Penny Hardaway had him too. Let me say something. Before Kobe, Penny Hardaway was my favorite player. Penny Hardaway was that dude. Had Penny Hardaway not got hurt, Penny Hardaway would have been in the top 10. Penny Hardaway was Tracy McGrady. He was Kobe. He was all these things. Before that, big point guard. Now, let me go why I bring up Penny Hardaway. Because it was Kobe's preparation. It ain't just the fact that he had Phil Jackson. It's the chemistry that they had. It's the ability to run that. Now, let me know if I ain't making sense to y'all now. But it's the ability to run that triangle offense in the manner that they did. Let me see what you say. Shaq wasn't in his prime. I'm thinking about that comment, dog, because I'm trying to think. Because you technically right. I want to say prime Shaq was LA Shaq. But again, because you're saying, why couldn't they get over the hurdle? Shaq still was great in Orlando. Was he not, dog? Kobe helped. Kobe's preparation. Kobe being the hermit and studying the game the way he did, the approach, the way. Hold on, now, this is my favorite playoff Kobe moment. One of my favorite ones, and it don't get enough. It don't get enough hype, right? Shaq fouls out against the Indiana Pacers. What does Kobe do? Now, I'm not saying Penny Hardaway can't do that because Penny Hardaway got busy. But the poise, the understanding of the stage, I think that Orlando team could have contended. No, I ain't gonna say that. They couldn't have beat that. They couldn't have beat that Houston Rocket team. I ain't even gonna say that. That Houston Rocket team, Hakeem Olajuwon was just something different. Let me see what my boy's saying, man, because he tell me stop being on display. Phil Jackson and Texas winners? You say who brought in that? No. I'm not skipping Eddie Jones. Okay, Brian. Now I'm gonna ask you a question. Who's more? Okay, Brian. And I know because I think we gotta respect every era to the theme of something what we're talking about. We gotta respect every era. I think we play eras against each other, right? But we gotta respect every era. And who more dominant? This for Brian. Who was more dominant, Wilt or Shaq? Let me see what my boy T talking about. He tripping. How you gonna ask me that question, T? Is Kobe the same Kobe if he goes to Charlotte? No, T. He not. The mentality, yes. He gonna need some help. They gonna have to build around him, right? Right, T. They gonna have to build around him. I don't know how to hold on, because okay, when you say the same, you mean skill wise or winning? Now, tell me what you're talking about. Skill wise or winning? Turtle Man, seriously? Wilt was better than Shaq? I disagree, first of all. But tell me why, Turtle. Because now, and I asked my boy Brian, gotta tell me who more dominant. Man, he was 16-6, man. We don't care about that one right now, T. It's one the same. Winning. No, T, he not. You said winning. I think if he goes to Charlotte, like you asked me, T, he get up out of there, because the question now, T, is what they had built, what he had around him. And I do agree, as much as I don't want to admit that, because like I said, we got to be fair. We're going to talk sports. We can't talk man fan or fanboy stuff. He did always beat Kobe head up. But you know what I hate? I never saw them on the final stage. I don't care what nobody say. On the final stage, Kobe would have came away with that. Let me see. Okay, my boy Brian say, Will. Okay, so let me ask you a question, Brian. Because I don't like to take away, because I think this is how we mess up the game. Because we say they played nobodies. They played the competition that they had. I think the skill level peaked in the 90s. I think it peaked in the 90s. Now, okay, this is the question I want to ask Brian. Would Wilt done that against Shaq's competition? You think he could have done that against Shaq's competition? Let me see. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, sports. You saying no, Wilt wouldn't have done? That's what you saying. No, Wilt wouldn't have done that, B. And that's the only thing I think, because I don't want because we can't take away from Wilt, and I think that's what they done. This is one thing that bothers me about how today's game is looked at. They say MJ played against plumbers, which is some of the most foolish things you could say. But I think you had a lot more bigs. I think you had David Robinson. I think you had Hakeem Olajuwon. You had Alonzo Mourning. You had who else? You know what? They played Arvydas Sabonis, but Arvydas Sabonis was like one of them first like prototypical overseas dudes that got busy. Like, we don't really look, and I think this is the problem with understanding the game today when they say the three-pointer is the evolution. You mean, do they really think Peja Stojakovic wouldn't have been dropping threes like that? Because it would have required them to play at that level. So I think Wilt would have been a top center. I don't know if he would have been snagging numbers like that. Let me see what my guy say. I think so. What you saying? You think so? You think they went head up? I don't, bro. I don't. Wilt would have. What is that, Jay? Heck yeah, T. Do I think Muggsy could have played? Yeah, man. And I think not only do I think Muggsy could have played, I think Muggsy would have been a problem. I think because, and look, I'm gonna tell you a small player that I don't think got enough talk was Earl Boykins. Y'all remember Earl Boykins? Earl Boykins could ball to me now. I don't know about nobody else. Stop what, man? It's about your fourth time telling me to stop. With what, bro? Do you actually think? Because, okay, you talk about with Kobe and Bron in the finals. Oh, let me talk to my boy T for a minute, because he's tripping, man. You got to look at, okay, if we face that Ron Artest team, I like the Trevor Ariza team too. I think in that in that 7-game series, you can get a sporadic game here, T, in my opinion. But when you see this every day, and they playing against an Andrew Bynum, who if it wouldn't have been Andrew Bynum would have been there. And I'm gonna go back to my boy Brian comment, but Andrew Bynum was that dude if he wouldn't have got hurt so much. So in that 4 out of 7, I don't think they beat them 4 out of 70. Who? Just letting LeBron score? Because also we talking about Phil Jackson now. If Greg Popovich knew how to stop LeBron, we don't really think. We don't. Well, now, which one you was talking about? Now, you talking about my Muggsy, my Earl Boykins, or you talking about the finals? But finish off my statement, T, that because we got to figure out why LeBron them got the hell up out of. He said you picked Kobe. Okay. Yeah, man. I picked Kobe. Kobe's greater than LeBron any day. Let me see what my boy Turtle Man saying. Patrick Ewing, Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley. The list goes on. The 90s was stacked. I don't understand when they're saying we done with the 90s. I don't understand when they're telling me this. I don't understand what they're saying when they say we done with the 90s. The 90s. Do we know who was in the 90s? I think LeBron in his stature and his size, yeah, he could have played. But again, you had to be mentally tough. This is why I eliminate LeBron, because he's mentally weak. Remember, I go back to that timeout fiasco with my boy J.R. Smith. He has meltdowns. And when you're a leader, you can't mentally fall out like that. He mentally falls out, and it's like, oh, man, you got to tighten up, dog. Tighten up, yo. And that's the problem. What series you talking about, dog? So we'll be on the same page. We talking about like a heads-up finals? Because I think, like I said, Greg Popovich just always knew how to stop LeBron. So I think the best two coaches, because I don't think Steve Kerr inherited what's supposed to have been Mark Jackson's. And I think if Steve Kerr goes somewhere else, we'll see the real type of coach. And the reason I say that is because that Golden State team was so well put together and such a well-oiled machine that it made it look like Luke Walton could coach. Luke Walton couldn't coach, and he found out Luke Walton couldn't coach. So I think that, to answer my boy T, because I'm still talking to my boy T, I think that the best two coaches is Phil Jackson and Greg Popovich, 1A, 1B. I think we don't know what Mark Jackson could have been because he got robbed. I think the worst coach is Doc Rivers. I really think Doc Rivers should. I don't know what Doc Rivers got on these people and how do he keep getting these damn jobs, but I think Doc Rivers is the worst coach to ever pick up a clipboard. Look, and with that 2089, that's what you're talking about. I got you now, dog. He stopped him. No, I don't think so. I disagree, T. And here's why. Because situations, man. You're not going to stop LeBron. He's a dominant freight train. So he going to drop them points right there on you. But at the right time, see, this is why I like the nuances of the game. And I know y'all going to tell me if y'all agree or disagree. This is why I like the nuances of the game. Certain scenarios, Kawhi Leonard would just agitate him. certain 2-minute periods. See, you can't stop him the whole game. You crazy if you think you're gonna stop a LeBron James the whole game. You can't. You can't guard him. You can't stay in front of him, but you can agitate him. That pick and roll show took him out. Like I said, Chris Bosh was the best thing they had on that team. Chris Bosh was the best thing smoking, but they play him. So he had them numbers, T, but them numbers is deceiving because it was at certain levels that Kawhi Leonard would take him out. Kawhi Leonard would take him out in certain scenarios that helped them win that. Let me go back up. Oh, he said if the Lakers would have faced, the Lakers would have took that. Probably would have been like a 6-game series. Because 4 out of 7 is different. And the regular season proves that all the time. The regular season proves that, man, you can beat a team in this. But that 4 out of 7, you keep seeing them every night. What else? What you mean, bro? What you agree with? God damn it, I finally got my boy to say I agree with something. Boy, he finally agreed to say what I'm smoking, bro. What you mean, man? Kawhi Leonard was a problem. Okay, cool. Got you. See, that's why I was like, man, I had to really catch what you were saying. I didn't know what you were saying at first, dog. But yeah. But okay, and I still didn't forget where I was going with Angel Reese. Because I said I compared Caitlyn Clark and LeBron James to the whole media-made greatness. Now, I do think Caitlyn Clark is a great player. I do think she's going to be a good player. But the way they play my girl Angel Reese is, number one, I think they focus on her off the court, and I think her off the court makes them look at her. This is the dumbest thing that I think they say about her, is that she gets them rebounds because she misses. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Like, I don't never understand that. But we acting like they act like Caitlyn Clark was a winner in college. I always say this, no matter if they talking about my Georgia Bulldogs. Go Dogs. SEC teams are never to be messed with. I'm going to say it again. SEC teams are never to be messed with. So the Iowa Hawkeyes was an okay team until they faced either South Carolina with Carmela Cardoso and Raven Johnson, who did a phenomenal job on Caitlyn Clark. Or they faced them LSU girls. My girl Flage. And I think that when they talk about Angel Reese, it's like, and y'all act like she Bronny. Y'all act like she was just put in the league. No, she earned her way there. Let me see what my boy saying, man. T. Oh, okay. I gotta start my boy T, man. Okay. All right. Let me get to my boy. That's right, Turtle Man. Man, my boy said Angel Reese is trash. See, that's what I'm saying, though, T. Where y'all get that from? When y'all say she's trash, do y'all realize she broke a rookie record with double-doubles, too? I don't like this thing of she gets offensive rebounds because it's her misses. That is, I'm going to use a Stephen A. Smith word. That's asinine. That is because it's like, in my opinion, it says more about the weak bigs on that other team because she's not as big. She's not as big as Carmela Cardoso. So if anybody should be snagging it like that, it should be, she broke Sylvia Fowles' record. So Angel Reese has been breaking records here and there, and for some reason people don't like her. And you know what I think it is? I think that right there. I think that right there is what made everybody start to hate her. And the fact that when Iowa lost and is it Jill Biden? What's Joe Biden's wife's name? And they wanted to invite everybody to. They said, never have we seen the losers talk about let them all come. Because they was little fragile white girls, and it was like let them come. No, they behind. Losers stay behind. Let me see my boy Brian say, man, because my man T tripping, man. We ain't gonna listen to that T. Man, bad coaching. Brian, you sound like my boy T now. It wasn't a problem when she did it, because I think she did it first to my man Turtle Man. I think she did it first to Haley Van Lith. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. I think she did this first to Haley Van Lith. And it was cool. But you know, just like us, we got swag. So when we do something, we gonna top you. So Angel Reese did it on the biggest level, and she was super duper more. I'm not even gonna say petty, but she was super duper like in your face with it. Like, yeah, huh. And I'm gonna point to my ring finger. So I gotta talk to my boy Brian and T, because I think I gotta separate y'all, man, because y'all are bugging. Let me see what you saying. No, she was. You saying Caitlyn Clark was better? Better based off what? This is why I don't like Caitlyn Clark. Because it again, white fragility, entitlement. She came in, and I think, okay, let's go back to college first before I go to the WNBA. What's her name? Coach Bluden for Iowa. And Kim Mulkey. I think Kim Mulkey is the better coach. Now that's not to knock Iowa's coach, but I think Kim Mulkey is a better proven coach with different teams, right? So, and we ain't even gonna talk about Dawn Staley. We're not even gonna talk about Dawn Staley, but we're gonna talk about I think Lisa Bluden, is that her name? And Kim Mulkey. So when we talking about how they coach these teams, and y'all gotta understand, man, y'all can't keep playing Angel Reese. Y'all gotta put some respect on her name, because she's a problem in the post. She's a problem, and they say she don't have a jump shot. She don't have to. Shaq didn't have a jump shot. She don't have to. And I think it's the opposite, dog. I think it's the opposite, T. I think she got better. Now, who you saying was better? Caitlyn Clark was better or Angel Reese? Because I think it's in reverse. I think Angel started out good. Had Angel not got hurt, well, I think they was going to give Caitlyn Clark Rookie of the Year anyway, because she got to have something. Y'all done built her up, and they done said that people watching sports because of her. Everybody's watching. This is what I'm saying. To the point of what I'm saying, media made greatness. Media made greatness is telling you that people are watching the WNBA more because of Caitlyn Clark. Nobody watches it. I'm watching because of Carmela Cardoso. I'm watching it because of Angel Reese. I'm watching it because what's my girl in LA? I'm having a blank. The white girl in Cameron Brink. Oh, we act like Cameron Brink can't ball. So there are other players. I think those new people that really never watched the NBA. See, I go way back in the WNBA to Cheryl Swoop, Cynthia Cooper, the sister that passed away from cancer, Kim Perrott. I go way back to Lisa Leslie. So I love basketball. So I just picked up knowledge along the way. I actually got a degree in sports journalism. So that was kind of like my thing. So when you look at the game, it's like, man, Candace Parker, I've seen so much better. I think, because my guy said the next couple of years, look, you might have something. And this is why you might have something when you say the next 2 to 3 years. Because if Angel Reese doesn't continue to focus on her game, like right now, I can bet you right now, Caitlyn Clark is practicing like a maniac. And that is what's going to make her, her game good. If Angel Reese doesn't hit with that same type of intensity and she continues to get hurt, yes, it's going to be, Caitlyn Clark is going to be the better player by a landslide. But Juju Watkins. Let me see what y'all saying. I know my boy. Let's see what Brian's saying. Man, that'll separate you. This is bro. All right, that's right. She ain't. Yeah, see, that's what it is, man. Because that's why Caitlyn got to be good. Because she ain't no looker. Nobody thinks Caitlyn Clark looks good. And this was the chick on The View, Sonny Hostin. Sonny Hostin said they're jealous because Caitlyn Clark got pretty privilege. And I said, I would have took it if y'all would have said her game. But to say Caitlyn Clark is pretty, now we just flat out lying. You ain't even stretching the truth because the truth ain't in you. Okay. I don't. You said the Fever fired the coach. You know what else, Brian? I don't think Teresa Weatherspoon should have been fired. I think these are lose-lose situations when what are you expecting these coaches to do in 1 year? Everybody can't win the championship. You got to build this chemistry. This is why I don't like the way today's game is going, because everything is like a win now. But when you saying she not good, though, T, she not good based on what, dog? She won a championship. Like, she broke Sylvia Fowles. She breaks records. She's not good in what way? Like, get me there, dog. She not good how, bro? And then look, dog, we have to look at the race card when Caitlyn Clark can do this, and that's fire. Let me tell you what she did, T. Raven Johnson, who got her redemption in that South Carolina game, said when Caitlyn Clark waved her off, feet away from her, dared her to shoot, waved her off like she was nothing. She said that messed with her psyche so bad she wanted to quit. But if Angel Reese had done that, she'd have been villainized. It's about race when a UCLA writer can write American Sweethearts, meaning UCLA girls, versus the Dirty Debutantes. And you call these group of black girls Dirty Debutantes. It's about race when it's just like they're making her like she's this great white hype that's coming in to save this dying league. It's that it becomes about that. I wish it didn't have to be about race, T, but when they play that and when Angel Reese does, oh, she's a piece of shit. She shouldn't be playing. She's trash. She's this. And it's like, well, why is it okay when she does it? But when she does it, it's, let me see. Okay. My boy Brian say, was way better when, B. In college, like, she got a better offensive bag. So we can say better from that perspective. She got a better offensive bag because there are two different positions, right? So she got a better. She's doing things, and I think Shaq gave a good explanation on Angel Reese's podcast when he said, "You got to do some stuff they never seen." He said Caitlyn Clark is shooting from the logo. We rarely seen that. So she got a better offensive bag, but at the same time, how many moves? How much was in Patrick Ewing's bag? Impact. That's when I think the racists come in, B. Impact because the media is making the impact, if that makes sense what I'm saying. Because she's good, but like that LeBron factor, not losing what I'm saying, like that LeBron, the media is flooding. Shannon Sharp won't even allow you to say nothing about Caitlyn Clark. You're not even allowed, so they're going to tell you she's the better impact, she's the better draw. They're going to tell you that Team USA did a disservice by not allowing her. She hasn't won. She's not a proven winner. She didn't win in college. She never won nothing. Now she broke records. Winning, scoring, winning. Yeah, winning. Okay, so it's like we were saying, me and my boy T, when he was saying that LeBron in the regular season was you said last place. Why didn't that? Okay, I got you. That's that. I can see what you're saying. And when I'm doing that, I'm thinking about y'all perspective and points of view. Why didn't that winning transition over in Iowa? Now I got my answer because I do agree that, but how much does Aaliyah Boston play into that? Because again, it's a team. Now, this is what I'm going to say. Because like my boy say, he hated got to be about race, but we got to point some things out, right? A team full of white girls would never be a team full of black girls. Now, that might sound like a turn-off statement. That might sound like a quote-unquote racist statement, but let's look at the athleticism. A team full of white boys with fair would never be a team full of... If you put the top white players, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, and name a couple of others against LeBron James, it's not going because of the level of athleticism, because of that. And so the reason I say this is, and listen to what I'm saying, that Iowa Hawkeye team didn't have enough. Those girls are different. We just genetically different. It might sound like a crazy, ignorant statement, but we got to look at our genetic makeup, right? So she needed players like Aaliyah Boston. They need some soul. Caitlyn Clark, had Caitlyn Clark been on a team like South Carolina, they'd have won. Had she been at an LSU, they would have won. Because you're around you're around more athletic. Those white girls were just not gonna beat them. And it got proven twice when they lost to LSU, and then they went into South Carolina and got mollywopped both games. Right? So we have to look at it like Caitlyn Clark was never like she broke scoring records because scoring is an individual achievement, right? You can step out. LeBron could score 40 points a game if he want to. But will that transition over into his team winning? Because team is a collective. They just can't contend with us on a certain level, right? Is that fair to say? Assist. So why does her assist get counted for? I'm asking, who that? That my boy B? Okay, I thought that's who that was. Okay, they play my girl Angel Reese and her rebounds, right? Because all of these are good points and great nuances of the game and great parts of the game. But why is her turnovers not brought up? Because, and I think turnovers is like a quarterback position. It's like the touchdown to interception ratio. Now, I think if you got a gunslinger, quarterbacks are going to throw interceptions. They just are. So a point guard is going to turn that ball over. Now, what you saying, B, I agree. Like I do think Caitlyn Clark is a great player, but I think the media hypes her up and makes her like she gets this first class treatment based off of what? Her scoring accolades? Is that again what we've been talking about to the theme of the game? Is that what it's come to? Just scoring accolades? Because LeBron James got all the records in the world, but he still ain't got more rings than MJ or Kobe. And he's not getting another. If they think this JJ Redick experiment gonna work, they are crazy. So her individual accolades, yes, her assist records, her scoring, she's a phenomenal scorer. She's a phenomenal player, but it has to be brought to on a team. She got to prove that, and I do think she'll win. I do think that Caitlyn Clark will win. I don't want to say she'll win because okay, this is what I will say about Angel Reese. It's all on her. Because I do agree with somebody said that, you know, it's like one of me and my brothers. He always says she's not focused. And at first I wasn't understanding what he was saying. He said, bro, Angel not focused. She all at the Met Gala, she all at this. And at first I wasn't understanding. I'm like, damn, bro, y'all just trying to come down. But it took me to really, he had to say it to me another time. And I was like, oh, you know, that aha moment. I was like, oh, I get what you're saying. Caitlyn Clark is not at a Met Gala. She is in the gym practicing. So it's like that Mamba mentality. Kobe said, you know, if you are in the gym and everybody else out partying, you're going to be eons ahead of them. So I do think what y'all are saying that when we're looking at the players and the teamwork, the individual practice that they're putting in, Caitlyn Clark is going to blow past her. But the fact that they are making it like she's this savior around the league, it just wasn't, they wasn't focused on the league. Because how are we going to overlook Candace Parker? How are we going to overlook Maya Moore? How are we going to overlook Simone Augustus? Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner's a baller. I think if the media had focused on Candace Parker the way it focused on Caitlyn Clark, we'd be talking the same type of thing. Because she went to Chicago and won a championship. She's a proven winner, right? So my thing is, you have to prove that you can win. Numbers are good. Okay, it's just like NFL. Lamar Jackson is a two-time MVP. And I like Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is my dude. It's Super Bowl and nothing. But he got all these MVPs, but he hasn't won. You play to win the game, right? So I think that's what we're looking at. How, and so when my boy T say she not good, that's why I say based on what? She won a championship. How is she not good? If she won a championship and Caitlyn Clark hasn't, we're only looking at the offensive part of the game. She can play defense. Now, my advice, and I want to see Angel Reese, is I want her to be in that gym and working just as hard. I don't want her just to, I think it's, I don't know. Because I don't know if she should be focused on a podcast. You see what I'm saying? I think she should be focused with a mean intensity. And again, they tried to play Shaq like he was this pervert that was sexualizing her. And if you looked at the entire podcast, that wasn't even what that was about. But I think he gave her some advice. He said, you need to get you a couple of moves, get you about 2 or 3 go-to moves, and dominate this motherfucker, basically. And I think that we'll go back, because that's like saying MJ and Elijah Warren. Two different mindsets, two different positions. So when we're looking at this point guard, the point guard is an extension of the coach. Is this fair to say? The point guard is like a quarterback. There go my dog. No, B. No, dog. Because okay, you say, okay, let me read your comment again, Brody. I can't see when you say inferior team. I can't even say you're wrong because the Indiana Fever was not winning nothing. So it's like Chris Paul. Okay, would it be fair to that? Okay, you remember what I said about Chris Paul earlier? I said he's a winner that hasn't won anything. Is that fair to say? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, you said also in college. I don't know if they were, because like I said, if we look at Kim Mulkey and Lisa Bluden, that team was as good as it was gonna be, man. They wasn't gonna beat them. They wasn't gonna beat them SEC girls, man. They just wasn't. Outside of teams like UConn, man, most of the time, I could see on a collegiate level, I could see South Carolina running the show. I could see it being playing ping pong. I could see, unless somebody comes in as a dark horse, I could see the triple being LSU, UConn, because UConn is always there, right? Gino Auriemma just knows how to coach. Again, it's about the coaching. And South Carolina. I think South Carolina is going to be a mean team because she knows how to recruit. And so I think also, okay, you say exactly. Just like Chris Paul. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now I can receive when we say it like that. My boy T still in the building. I can receive when you say it like that, B. She's a winner that hasn't won. I think she will win. I think if she would have had a lot more soul on that team, like I said, if she would have been on the LSU team, it would have been even more ugly. With her offensive skill set behind that, because this is where I think Kim Mulkey goofed that game. LSU could have beat them. What was it? The Final Four or the Elite Eight? Which one? Whatever one it was. I think where Kim Mulkey goofed is she kept Haley Van Lith on Caitlyn Clark. And she couldn't do nothing with her. Caitlyn Clark was dusting her. She never let Flau'jae take over. I think that loss was on Kim Mulkey more so than it was on those girls. Because when we saw Dawn Staley said, okay, Raven Johnson picked Caitlyn Clark's pocket so many times, she took the lint out of it. Right? So when we're looking at this, y'all, it's like how I want to say, you got to lock her down. It ain't no easy job now. But when you put that pressure on her, Caitlyn Clark turned that ball over. So that's why I say I can agree with what you're saying, B, but a lot of those turnovers in college, man, I saw them rip the ball away from her a couple of times that it had nothing to do with her teammates. And that's the narrative because she came in snitching saying that they can't catch my passes. Okay, well, you got to develop chemistry. That's like, you know what that's like, B? That's like when Michael Vick was coming to Atlanta and a lot of his passes were just so crazy now. I also think they don't give Michael Vick credit for revolutionizing the quarterback position. Michael Vick single-handedly, in my opinion, changed the quarterback position, the way quarterback back position is being played today. But because he's a black man and he got in trouble the way he did, they'll never. If let's say if that would have been Johnny Manziel, because I think Johnny Manziel is like the closest thing on a collegiate level, if we want to say that. And he would have hit with that kind of impact before Michael Vick. I don't know, because they really didn't like Johnny Manziel either, because Johnny Manziel was a problem. They didn't like Tim Tebow. Damn, I'm trying to find somebody. Tom Brady wasn't mobile. But you get what I'm saying. I think that they're giving a lot of passes. But back to what I'm saying. Yes. She took them as far as one person could. That's fair to say. She took them as far as one person could. She ran into a juggernaut. And they couldn't do nothing with them girls. So I don't think it was just that. And that's what happened when you got offense versus a team. When you got a scorer versus a team. She can score 40, but guess what they're going to do? They're going to allow her to score and nobody else get nothing. Nobody else get a damn thing. You let her get hers, but we don't even know her teammate. We probably can't even name. Only one I think is the sister with the Afro puffs, the black girl with the Afro puffs, and I can't even remember her name on Iowa. So, Aaliyah Boston helps a lot. Another South Carolina product. Right? So when we're looking at Aaliyah Boston, we're looking at a team. But I do think, because if you watch that WNBA All-Star game, they took it to Team USA. They beat Team USA up. And Angel Reese if I'm not mistaken, Angel Reese had a double-double before halftime. So I think it's where they try to when you minimize her game and says she can't play. Why she can't play? She been playing all this time. So now all of a sudden, like how they did Russell Westbrook. Now all of a sudden, Russell Westbrook is a triple-double machine, and all of a sudden, and an MVP. I've never seen an MVP be disrespected the way Russell Westbrook was until he played with LeBron James. LeBron James is a career killer. He slowed down Kevin Love. He killed a lot of people's career. Exactly. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't give her flowers, but let her earn them. We giving her. It's like a girl that did a nice favor. It's like a woman that did a nice favor. Now we the over nice guy. Now we're spoiling her, and we haven't seen enough from her yet. You see what I'm saying? We're crowning her wifey, and she ain't really done that. And we're going to be like, man, well, no, I ain't seen enough. It's not saying she don't have wife material. It's not saying she don't have great potential, but she hasn't done enough. And that's what I'm saying, B. The media makes them and says, oh, she's great. She ain't won. When she win on championship, and I say, yeah, because I know she going to come back offensively and murder. I know Caitlyn Clark is going to come back and she's going to be. And I think what bothered me was the whole bullying. They're like, oh, she's being bullied. You mean the way Angel Reese got clothesline? You mean the way Candace Parker would get tackled